All right, are we about to start seeing more of Gavin Brindley? Let's talk about that. A new episode of Locked on Avalanche coming at you.
You're Locked on Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Locked on Avalanche podcast, part of the Locked on Podcast Network. Your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Micieli. Joining me as always, Mr. Zach Pearson. Thank you for tuning in, making this your first listen of the day. And thank you for making the Locked on Podcast Network the #1 podcast sports network in the nation. Thank you so much for that. Can't beat that stuff. So if you want to get in on the conversation, join our subtext. Link is in the show notes below. Chat with Zach and I one-on-one. Get your opinion, everything Avalanche related, and share it on this very podcast. We'll be checking in with the subtext crew and their predictions for this game of the year that nobody really had circled on their calendars when the schedule came out. The Colorado Avalanche and the Anaheim Ducks. Go figure. So we'll get to that. And we're going to start doing power rankings, or depending on how the schedule works out, Mondays or Tuesdays, whenever we can get them in, where the Avalanche are currently on different websites, power rankings. So we'll get to that a little bit later as well. But like I said in the opening, it's Gavin Brindley's world right now, and we're just living in it. And he's been a breath of fresh air for, this prospect pool that just gets such a shellacking from just the hockey media really around the world. And to have a guy that they went and traded for, and not one of those guys that you just stuffed in the AHL. He made the team out of camp, deserved it. And, now everything is just roses for him after that game winner. And when you don't have a game the following day, you keep talking about the guy. And it's not just that, though. It's like how he's been playing it just seems like everything just fits for him. So the question I posed in the opening is, and we talked about it in yesterday's episode, not just the game winner, but he was out there getting some shifts with some top six lines, the top line in particular, with Nathan MacKinnon a couple of times. Do you think we're going to see more of that, or was that just a Bednar tweaking some things as that game went on because it wasn't in their hand? There were still some things in doubt. Do you think we'll see that more, or that was just a one-off for now?
I think it's a one-off for now, only because I can't really imagine either like Nečas or Nečas. I almost just combined their names into one super player. I can't imagine both of them being off the top line in favor of Brindley yet. Not saying he can't eventually get there. I just don't see it happening on a regular basis. That being said, I fully anticipate Bednar to do exactly that and be like, hey, we need something to just be a little different. So Lecky and Mac, you guys are going out there with Brindley for this shift here in a game. And then honestly, if the kid keeps playing as well as he does, eventually it's going to be hard to put him down below the top two lines or the top line. I mean, we were talking about it at the beginning of the season, like, oh, who's going to make the push and who's going to be the hard one to send back down to the Eagles. And then it became pretty quickly like Brindley's going to be really hard to send back down. And now it's Brindley's going to be hard to keep out of your top 9 or top 6 potentially. Right. So yeah, I don't anticipate it being a very common thing right now. I do see it happening on a not regular, but semi-regular rotation.
On a needed basis. It's just another option that the Avalanche have now if they want to go down that road. But I'm with you. I think, it was a great moment for him. And I think that just gets him more confidence. It's clear that the team, the coaching staff has confidence in him. If in that game, and a game that was, still in doubt, this was not in your hands, and you're moving, you saw how he was playing for the duration of that game. You decided to make those moves to move. He was the one that you inserted more and gave and put more weight on his shoulders for that game. Yeah. I think that speaks volumes to what they think of him. and then to put him in for overtime, just putting him out there was kind of like, okay, they have a lot of faith in this kid. But do I see, and I wonder how much of it was, Nečas seemed to get hit early in the game. And I didn't really seem like he was the same after that. He didn't come out.
Yeah.
I don't know if that had something to. It doesn't matter if it had something to do with it. It's just the fact that if it did, that again, they went to him to be the one to slide him up for big parts in the game.
Yeah.
So I think as the season goes on, it might be something to watch because they've already messed around with that second line quite a bit. Nelson and Nečas are the staples right now, and they're kind of, they obviously started with Landeskog, then went to Olofsson, who's playing well. It's not like they couldn't slide him back in there. It's been Ross. And lately, why couldn't it be Gavin Brindley? Why couldn't you put him in that second spot for now? And maybe they do it before Logan O'Connor comes back to see what they have and where lines match up. There's just a number of ways you could go with this, but to catapult him into like a top 6 role right now is very premature. But I think the one thing you will see is you should see his minutes creep up a little bit more. Again, not going from the 8 to 10 up to 17, 18. But maybe, the way that he's playing, whatever line he's on, even if it's the fourth line, the way he's playing helps that line. So those lines might be out. You might be able to roll those lines the way that you've always wanted to do. And, the where lines should be for time on ice kind of levels out a little bit. And you see him with 2 to 4 more minutes per game. That's where I think we could go right now.
100% agreed. I think it really does help out being able to put yourself in a position where you're not having Nathan MacKinnon play 20 plus minutes, 30 plus minutes the entire game. Sometimes it feels like just because Bednar wants to make sure that we're getting the points that we need to get. I feel like there's a couple of games last season, especially where you're like, okay, I'm relatively certain Nathan MacKinnon has 57 of the 60 possible minutes tonight.
He's always out there. Yeah.
It does feel like that sometimes. And so if you've got a fourth line that can produce and is able to keep the puck, keep possession of the puck, keep the offensive zone, and do all of those things you want to see him do, like Brindley does, it puts you in a good position, like you said, to just bump those up a little bit. Give a couple of your top line guys a couple extra minutes each night. Goes a long ways to keeping you fresh into the playoffs too. Really does.
Sure does. Yeah. And I mean, we love the Nečas and Nathan MacKinnon duo because they're exciting. I'm not saying replace. All I'm saying is Brinley and MacKinnon, like every once in a while together, would be just as exciting as Martin Nečas and Nathan MacKinnon.
Especially
that would be very exciting.
Brinley continues to develop because he's a little bit smaller for sure.
Yes.
But he's still working. He's 21. Like you're showing this much, and you've got you're not even close to your prime yet. You've still got 4 or 5 years of working up into it. I agree.
He doesn't.
You're really fun.
He doesn't care about his height. Like who was that guy on Vancouver? I think Mosier said it on the broadcast that literally is a full foot taller. Than him.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. He went right up. Like he didn't knock him down, but he stopped him.
He's right up.
He slowed him down. And hey, if I can slow you down, we can have a battle for puck possession to go against the boards. He doesn't care. He's going in there. He's going to mix it up. I love it. So we'll see where that goes. And it's, if nothing else, it's just exciting to have, a top prospect who's early on in the season, but he's performing and he's producing. That's very nice. It's very nice to have that.
I agree. Very, very nice. It's really cool that our first 2 segments today are going to be 2 very surprising things, because in the off season, at the end of the playoffs last year, if you'd have told me we have a top end prospect we're going to be very excited and talking about, I'd have been like, who? I don't know who's stepping up into that spot. And now we got Brindley.
And, we are going to talk about the Ducks next segment, but, they have a lot of them that are producing. So
Yeah, they do.
They have the bragging rights for that too. I wanted to bring this up too. This was over on Jay Fresh's. It's on his website, but he posted about it on his Instagram page. So they have a thing over there where you can you can kind of predict what the points are going to be for all 82 games, just projecting where guys are now. So I wanted to bring this up because it's kind of hilarious. Where Nathan MacKinnon is right now, over 82 games, he is on pace for 149 points, 72 goals, and 77 assists. Does this stuff usually pan out this way? No, but don't tell Nathan MacKinnon he can't do that. So I mean,
tell Nathan MacKinnon he can't do that, because then I'm pretty sure he's going to go out there and just rip things apart for
very good point.
The entire season.
Very good point. But man, if he hits 72 goals, that'll just, destroy his career high. And then 77. So almost equal amounts goals and assists is just stupid.
Yeah.
To be at 149. So, but that would only be the tops in the league by 4 points over Willie Nylander.
Nylander doing as well as he is, yeah.
Who would have 50 goals and 95 assists. That's pretty crazy. And Leo Carlsson, who's playing phenomenal right now for Anaheim, would be at 137. That's your 1, 2, 3 for the season, which I love. Yeah. I love that we don't have the same old, with the exception of Nathan MacKinnon, because he's usually always towards the top. But you are getting new blood infused into the league in terms of scoring. And Carlsson is up there right now. Bedard is up there right now. Celebrini's up there right now. All those guys are up there right now, and I love it. It's not just your McDavid every year, Matthews every year. Like, sure, those guys are going to score their goals, but the young bucks are starting to make their name, and I'm here for it. It's about time.
Yep. I absolutely love this. It's cool to see a new generation starting to take that spot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I do really like Nathan MacKinnon being on top of the scoring. And the beginning of the weekend, everybody's like, oh, all these young kids leading the league, Celebrini leading the league in scoring right now. And then all of a sudden McKinnon's like, I'll just take 9 points this weekend and take that back over.
We'll see about that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It is exciting though.
MacKinnon, like we mentioned it yesterday's episode, and he did get the number 1 star of the week, which not too surprising with what he had. I think Bedard was second, and I think Carlsson was third. So there you go. Like they're holding up. They're staying up there. One other thing I want to point out on this list: Cale Makar is number 8 on this list for 113 poinents. He's the only defenseman on here.
I was going to say,
I'm kind of blocked here. I moved it over. I think he's the only defenseman on here. I went through it quickly. No, I don't see any other defenseman. But not only is he the only defenseman, look who's right below him.
It's Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid. He's tied for overall points with McDavid, but he has more goals than him. Can you imagine if Cale Makar finishes the season with more goals than Connor McDavid? And I don't know, man, if Nathan MacKinnon does go out and score 149 points, but it's Cale Makar who has 31 goals more than Connor McDavid and has 113 points on the season, I think Cale Makar wins your Hart Trophy if those are his numbers.
Absolutely has to.
That's ridiculous.
100%. Yep.
So go over to the Jay Fresh page over on Twitter, or he has his own website up now if you want to go follow along on that. So cool stuff there. We'll have to save that and see how it all winds up at the end of the year. So, but we got to get through games, and the next one for the Avs should be an entertaining one against the Anaheim Ducks. What? Yeah, let's talk about that next. First, we're going to hear from FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. And even if you miss a start of the game or want to ride a hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. Obviously, the Avalanche are playing on Tuesday. Nuggets as well.
Nuggets are playing Tuesday as well, and then Broncos come in. Fun stat. So if you
Okay,
guys
throw it
want,
out.
because FanDuel's still doing $5 bet. If it wins, $300 in bonus bets. A bet you can take right now. The 3 Colorado major sports teams that are playing currently, the Broncos, the Nuggets, and the Avalanche, are 15-0-2 at home since October. So take that $5 and choose one of those teams at home to win, and you've got a pretty good shot at that $300 in bonus bets.
That bodes well for this game against the Ducks on Tuesday.
It does.
So, I mean, I think it helps that the Rockies are not playing for that.
That helps immensely.
That record to be what it is. So that definitely helps. So right now, FanDuel is giving, like Zach said, new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. So like I said in the beginning, nobody had this game circled between the Avalanche and the Ducks. And while I'm here for, all the young guys being higher up in the standings for points, I'm all for this too. I'm all for teams that nobody really gave a chance or was just like, oh, they'll be improved, but not improved enough to, maybe grab a playoff spot. And who knows? When this is all said and done, who knows what's going to happen with the Ducks? But when you watch them play, you get the feeling like, sure, will the world even itself out maybe a little bit? But I think they'll be there for the duration of this season. I think they'll be there. They had done very well drafting and developing, and they did a great job of doing both things, drafting and developing and making good trades for veterans. And they have that nice balance. And the two guys that stick out right now are Trouba and Chris Kreider. Go figure. I mean, Trouba I guess we're out as welcome in New York. Kind of a weird trade to me at the time. Kreider, I get. Kreider feels like just needed somewhere else to go. It just seemed like the luster wore off for him in New York, and he's reinvigorated his career in a short amount of time. And then you have all of these young guys that they've drafted and developed that are making the name for themselves. Yeah. Like all of them. It's not hit or miss. It just seems like they have hit all of the right buttons, and it's nice to see. It is nice to see. I don't want to see it Tuesday night.
No.
I'd love for them to still be developing. But you have guys
Tuesday,
like
be good after Tuesday.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. But you could see it. Like if you watch this team, you can see like, yeah, these guys are on their way. Just when is it going to be that they hit their stride? And it seems to be now. Guys like Leo Carlsson, that guy is a gamer. He is a great player. And I have a feeling that he's going to be one of those guys with the Bedards of the world and the Celebrinis. And here's Leo Carlsson, who's just doing as well as they are, but is just kind of like skating under the radar because he wasn't the household name those two guys were. This is a good team. It's a good team. I think it's going to be a fun game.
It should be a really fun game. I'm curious, who do the Avs put in net for this game? Because I'm thinking they're going to go Scott Wedgwood.
If you asked me last week, I would have said probably Mackenzie Blackwood. But right now, I'm with you. I think they're still riding the hot hand with Wedgwood.
And I think this is the type of game that everybody's kind of looking forward to. This is the type of game I think the guys are really going to want to go out and show, like, because you're kind of putting up, like you said, two of the best in the West right now. Nobody would have thought that in November you would have somebody would have said Avalanche as a competition for best in the West. Nobody had Anaheim as the potential there. And so, yeah, I feel like Wedgie's maybe he's going to get the start. It just feels like you said, ride the hot hand, see if you can put him out there to get a win. And
yeah, I think so. And I remember talking about like Western Conference and things like that and thinking the Ducks would be improved.
Yeah.
But this, on the heels of the Avalanche, no, nobody had that. and they are in the midst of a 7-game winning streak right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've looked at the teams that they beat during this 7-game winning streak, but I'm going to tell you, it's impressive. It all started in Florida, and they beat the Panthers in a shootout. And then they beat the Red Wings at home 5-2. And then they beat the Devils at home. And then they beat the Panthers again 7-3 at home. And then they beat the Stars in Dallas. And then they beat Vegas in overtime. And then they just beat Winnipeg at home. Those are all top of the line or two-time defending Stanley Cup champion teams that they are beating. They are not going out and beating, the lottery teams of next year. So we're talking about confidence level of the Colorado Avalanche, the confidence level, and that's what a team like Anaheim needs. All they need is confidence. So, and when you have, like, I wanted to come in and say, oh, this is going to be the test for them. They just passed 7 of them.
Right.
So this is just another one for them. So they're coming in, and they're not going to be intimidated. They're not going to feel like the moment's too big for them. And when you have a team that, honestly, I want to say this, has nothing to play for, because nobody expected this, they can go out and just play hockey.
Oh, it's house money right now. It's all house money.
It is. Yeah.
And agreed.
And you have, Lucas Dostal, who's I think a very good up and coming goalie himself. So they have it all right now. So I think we slept on the Ducks. I think that's the one team that we just immediately just dismissed, and because it was easy to. It's so easy to do that for teams that just haven't done much, and it's tough to say like a team that over the last decade struggles to be like, oh, this year they're just going to break out of it. I think that team this year was the Mammoth for a lot of people, and they're doing well too. But I don't think anybody really had it on the Ducks. So I'm kind of excited for this. I'm excited to watch them play and see where they match up against the Avalanche, see where the Avalanche match up against them as well.
Yeah, agreed. This is going to be a really good game. I hope everybody who goes is nice and loud, because I think the Avs are going to want to feed off that energy for sure.
You got a prediction for this one or what? What do you think?
Oh, man, this one's going to be really tough to predict. I don't know if I'm expecting super high scoring or like one of those weird nobody seems to be able to actually score the puck kind of games. Let's go 4-3 Avalanche win regulation.
All right. I mean, the way the Avs are scoring lately, wouldn't surprise me if they could put up another 5 spot.
Right, another wild and crazy game.
I have no idea. Let's see. Katie says Ducks won 7 in a row, so the Avs should be able to shut that down. All right. I mean, I would love it. We'll see. I just think they can shut them down, especially here at home. That clearly helps the Avalanche. Anytime you're the home team, that clearly helps. But if this game was in Anaheim, I think, doesn't take much to 7-game winning streak early in the season. You're at the top of the standings. And if it was, the Avalanche coming to town in Anaheim, that place would be rocking. But coming to our barn. So
yeah,
that's down the road. Adam says Ducks are flying high right now, but the Avalanche will smother them 6-3 final.
Okay. I like that.
I mean, it's just great that this game is happening when both teams are really on a heater right now. Both of them are. So, I mean, the Avs need to slow down the Ducks, and the Ducks need to do their best to slow down the Avs, which is proving difficult right now. Christina said, I'll be there. So she's going to the game. So I'm sure they'll pull out a win. I anticipate it will be a close game. For some reason, Anaheim has decided they want to play hockey this season for now. Just need the Avs to remind the Ducks who they are. I get where she's going with that. And that's where I was saying, like,
who the Ducks are.
it could be. Like, we don't know. Like, I think they're a much improved team, but they're just so young. And I think that's where it's tough to predict if they were going to do this, because you had to predict when it was just going to all mesh well with all those young guys that they have. And they're all doing it together, all doing it this year. I think that was what's difficult to predict about it, but it's working for him. Laura says, does Jacob Trouba's elbow of social justice try to take out Marty Nečas again? Or was that the only East Coast Trouba? I make fun of him with my Ranger fans all the time about the Trouba elbow. It's a very real thing. I feel like he's been on his better behavior since coming to Anaheim. You haven't really heard about it too much.
No.
Taking those like wild shots at guys in the playoffs like he did with Nečas. But I don't know if he's been on better behavior, but sometimes you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and it's still within him there. And is he one of those guys where if someone's just close to him and he's having a rough game, he just flails that elbow out? It's always possible.
That would be a concern, is if the Avs somehow start to run away with it, does that elbow come back out?
Right. And he doesn't care who he throws it to either. That's the scary part. So Hoffacorn says, I'm actually going to this game as well.
Sweet.
So he says 3-2 Avs. And then Zach H says, might be one of the best games of the year. And Anaheim is looking like a complete package. It's a good measuring stick. But he doesn't say for who. I mean, maybe it's for both.
I was going to say, I think it's for both.
Yeah. Why not? So, all right. Yeah. Going to be a good one. So we'll be back on to talk about that one on tomorrow's episode. One more thing to do here. We're going to get a last break in, and then we'll come back with some power rankings for this week. And where did the Avalanche stand? I think you're going to be pretty happy with this week's power rankings.
I think so.
Across
Something tells me. Something tells me.
We'll do that next. New sponsor here on the podcast, and that is Drip Drop. And you want to stay hydrated. That's when everything just works better. Your focus, your energy, your mood, even your skin is better when you're hydrated. And that's why you got to use Drip Drop. It's doctor-developed hydration that keeps you running at full power no matter what your day looks like. Drip Drop isn't your average sports drink. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading brands, using a science-backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, and over 90% of top college and pro teams. Make Drip Drop part of your daily routine. Mix a packet in the morning before the gym or during that midday slump. And trust me, they taste amazing. They actually sent me a package of them. Right now, the cherry limeade is maybe my favorite one. They sent me a citrus package, so it's all like the citrus flavors. You can never go wrong with cherry limeade. I feel like that's always just like the go-to for me.
It's a great choice.
It's always good. So right now, Drip Drop is offering podcast listeners 20% off of your first order. Go to dripdrop.com and use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL. That is dripdrop.com, promo code NHL for 20% off. Stock up now before hitting the ice and keep your body and mind performing at their best with Drip Drop. All right, sir. Power rankings. Let's see where the Avalanche stand for this week. I'm going
to address one thing real quick before we hit the power rankings.
Yes.
So go for it. On yesterday's episode, there was a comment I saw, and it was, when do we start discussing when Landeskog, that contract for Landeskog, is he overpaid, et cetera, et cetera? We don't. Moving on.
The only thing I want to say about that is, isn't it funny how all that needed to happen was Gabe Landeskog needed to return and everything was fine? And to an extent, that's true.
Yeah.
Look, what's like the team is winning, and sure, he cures a lot of what was missing in the locker room, but because what's going on the ice for him is a little bit slow to come around. Now everyone, I don't want to say everyone, some people like that comment. Now we're backing off on that. And now we're like, oh, what's going on with Gabe Landeskog? Yep. I just find out how these things just alternate.
It is crazy.
It's funny to me. It's funny to me.
I just wanted to address that. We don't. He's not overpaid. He's earned every cent.
Absolutely. And if you're winning, what's the problem?
Exactly.
What is a problem? So, all right, let's dive into some power rankings here. We did last week. I know we did the Athletic. Why don't we start there? And I figured we do a kind of a fun way, I guess, because we just talked about Anaheim.
Yep.
So I know last week when we did this, we looked where the Avalanche were and we looked where the Mammoth were.
Yeah.
Why don't we look where the Avalanche are and why don't we look where the Ducks are?
I was at the same mindset.
So over on the Athletic, and again, the way we did it last week was go through the teams until we hit the Avalanche. We don't have to go very far in really any of these. So over on the Athletic, Colorado is number 1. They were 3 last week. You don't have to go far to get to Anaheim. They're number 2. Anaheim is number 2, and they were 14 the week before.
A 12 spot jump for the Ducks. So people are starting to come around.
But do you think that's too much? I think we talked about this with the Mammoth last week. It's the sexy pick. So let's throw them up as high as we can.
And the Mammoth were 2 last week and dropped to 8. So yeah, I mean, it could be a bit of kind of an overreaction moving on the board a bit for Anaheim. But it is pretty crazy to see them 1 and 2 and facing off tomorrow. I love that the Avs bumped up their 2 spots on the Athletic. It's hard for me to argue, especially as an Avs fan, that they belong anywhere except the number 1 spot. Anaheim, I think maybe a little high, but I also think this is not the only outlet that has them at number 2 or number 3.
Yeah. And I do want to bring up it for the Athletic for their bullet points and like their paragraphs. They talked about one player, or at least one player from each team who's on the bubble for the Olympic roster. So for the Avalanche, they said Gabe Landeskog has started slowly, but that doesn't matter.
Respect he's earned has already helped him put on Sweden's roster. Yep.
There you go.
And agreed.
Yep. There you go. Let's go over to the NHL and their
Super 16
or whatever they call it. I still have a hang up that they just don't care about half the league. It bothers me that whatever.
Well, I really like when teams rocket up to like 7 or 8, or like 6, 7, 8, and they weren't ranked the week before. It's like, well, how many spots did they jump?
Exactly.
No idea.
The world may never know. It's like center of a Tootsie Roll Pop. Colorado Avalanche, number 1. Again, they were number 3 last week in their ranking as well. So they move up to number 1 in that. In the NHL ranking, where is Anaheim? Number 9.
9. Yep.
And they were 16 the week before.
Yeah.
So that's the only way we know is that where they were last week.
They were barely in that. Yep. So Anaheim, again, a pretty big move up to the number 9 spot. I mean, jumping 7 is nothing. That's no small jump. So another outlet really thinking pretty high on the Ducks, but Avs still hanging on at number 1.
I think they did something where it's who's like a surefire Hall of Famer for each team. Yeah. I love that question for the Avalanche right now. If you're just to pick one, if you only pick one, it's obviously between MacKinnon and Makar. Who do you go with
between the two? It has to be.
It's like one of those things where Makar, but it's like that doesn't mean Nathan MacKinnon, you have no shot,
right?
I'm
saying like if you had to choose, like you're given right now, only one of these two you can pick to be the one who will eventually make the Hall of Fame. It's like putting your $5 FanDuel bet down. I feel like it's got to be Makar. He's just, I think it's too historic and game changing of a career already. Yeah. It's got to be him.
You're 100% right no matter which one of those guys you pick.
Right.
So the funny thing is with Anaheim, we're talking about Leo Carlsson. That's who they have.
Which is
in the Anaheim one is Carlsson. He's good, man. He is really good. So we'll watch him. Over on the hockey writers, we didn't have the hockey writers last week, but we're bringing them up this week because, like the Athletic, they have the Avalanche at 1, previously at 5, and they have Anaheim at 2, previously at 11. So, a 7-game winning streak will catapult you up power ranking. So,
really will. Yep.
Number 2, you know what? Let Anaheim have their flowers while they can. You know what?
Right.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. So that's another one. And then we got who else we got here? ESPN.
We've got ESPN. Yep.
So ESPN, Colorado at number 1. They have Montreal at number 2, actually. We haven't talked much about Montreal, but man, they are a fun team. And they have Anaheim at 8.
Previously 20. So another 12 spot jump.
Big jump
on another rankings. Yeah. Like you said, 7-game winning streak will do it. And is this too much of a jump? You did go through the list of the teams they beat on this 7-game winning streak. I don't know that it's too much of a jump. This is a heck of a good jump.
Yeah. Yep. And then finally over Shannon over at the Hockey Guy website. He had the Avs at 7 last week, I think.
Yep.
And he has bumped them up to number 3, where he has Anaheim at 6.
And I don't remember where Anaheim was last week.
I don't remember either. Yeah. So I have nothing else. This just tells you like the excitement around this game that wasn't there 3 weeks ago is very much there. And every single website has both these guys in the top, not only the top 10, top 5, or top 2.
Yeah.
So you really do have potentially the 2 best teams going at it on Tuesday night. Who doesn't love that?
And with Shannon, the Hockey Guy, being the only one without the Avs at number 1, he put New Jersey and Montreal at 1 and 2 ahead of the Avalanche. I can understand why. I know on the last one we got some comments saying, "Oh, he's just an Avalanche hater." His comment when he put the puck on his board was, "The Avs can and very well could be the number 1 spot next week if they keep playing this way." So I think he's trying his best to make a opinion as unbiased as possible. Montreal's been sneaky good. Maybe not even sneaky good. We're just not talking about them here, but they've been a good team. And New Jersey, everybody knows New Jersey's been playing phenomenal. So good spot to be at 3. I think the Avs are number 1 on my power rankings because they are the best team in the league and can do no wrong.
Of course not. They never do. Even if they lost every game, they're still number 1 in the league.
Number 1 in my heart.
Exactly. So, but yeah, that Montreal is a fun team. I think they're up against each other at the end of this month. I remember when we did the month of November.
It's the 29th and
Metro. That will be a fun high octane game. High octane up and down the ice. Just going to be blinding speed back and forth. That's going to be fun. That's for the end of the month. So long way to go kind of a long way before we get to that, but you're not overlooking the Ducks anymore, at least right now, not right now. So we'll be talking about this game tomorrow after it finishes up. So make sure you tune in to that. Until then, thank you for making this episode your first listen of the day. And of course, the Locked On Podcast Network, the number 1 sports podcast network in the country. Always appreciated. So for Mr. Zach Pearson, I am Chris Micieli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. We'll see you guys tomorrow to talk about that big game. And you also have made it through another 24 hours where Sidney Crosby's that much closer to being a part of the Colorado Avalanche.